Hello, Jaguar students. It's your friendly neighborhood math teacher, Mr. Allred, and I'm excited and proud to introduce to you Unit 2, mini lesson number 4, about dividing decimals. By the end of today's mini lesson, you should be able to solve word problems involving division of decimals. That's right. We're going to solve some word problems, but before we get there, we're going to have to take some notes and work on some practice problems together. So here we go. I want to make you aware that this is your 7th entry in the table of contents, Unit 2, mini lesson number 4, dividing decimals, your 7th entry on this 10th day of October 2017. Welcome to the show. Here we go. Write entry number 7 on the top right-hand side of your notes. Go ahead and do that for me. And then I want you to tell Edpuzzle what we talked about with multiplying decimals. How can what we learned about multiplying decimals help us with dividing them? Tell Edpuzzle what you think about that question. The great news for us is that the rules from Unit 1, are still the same with multiplying decimals, Those positive and negative rules, they're still the same when we divide decimals here in mini lesson number 4, When we divide a decimal number or a whole number by a whole number, pretty simple. Divide like you usually would and move the decimal up in your final answer. So for this first example, if you're doing 2.8 divided by 8, the first thing you'd want to do is get your box. You're doing 2.8 divided by 8. So the 2.8 needs to go inside the box. The 8 needs to go outside the box. 8 does not go into 2, but it goes into 28 about 3 times, and 3 times 8 is 24. When you subtract 28 minus 24, you do get 4, and you bring down a 0, and 8 goes into 40 about 5 times. 8 times 5 is 40, so you're all done there. Your decimal, where does your decimal go? Well, that's right, your decimal goes straight up from where it was. It shoots through the roof. So your final answer here is 35 hundredths there for your first example, Everything I just did is for this example problem right here. 35 hundredths there for the first one. So when you're dividing by a whole number, just divide until you're done or until you see a repeating pattern, and then put the decimal up in the answer. Shoot it through the roof where it was. So dividing by a whole number, fairly simple. Positive and negative rules still apply, Same signs still give you a positive, different signs still give you a negative. When you're dividing a whole number or a decimal number by a decimal number, things get a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it's going to be the same thing. We're going to move the decimal in the divisor to the right until it forms a whole number, and then we're going to move the decimal in the dividend the same number of places to the right. We're going to divide as we would with integers and move the decimal up into the quotient as this new product. This third step is the same as before. So after we've taken the divisor, the number you're dividing by, and moved it to the right until we form a whole number. Do the same thing with the dividend, and then we have a whole number we're dividing by. So if we were doing 9 divided by 2.2, then we would want to move that decimal in the divisor to the right until you get 22. So I move it one time to the right. That means I'm going to move this decimal one time to the right as well. So I'm going to throw up an extra 0 there. Instead of dividing 9 by 2.2, it might make more sense to divide 9D by 22 and then move the decimal up in the answer. 22 does not go into 9, but it goes into 9D about 4 times. And 4 times 22 is 88. 90 minus 88 is 2. 22 does not go into 2. In fact, it doesn't even go into 20, but it goes into 200 9 times. So you have to skip a place there in your quotient, because since it didn't go into 20, put a 0 up there. It goes into 209 times. 9 times 22 is 198. When you subtract it, you get 2, which is the same thing you got before. So at that point, you need to recognize that that's going to be a repeating decimal pattern, and the decimal is going to shoot straight up from where it started, or from where I moved it to. And now my final answer is going to be 4 9/100ths repeating, 4.09 repeating there for that first example about dividing by a decimal number. Ed Puzzle is going to ask you what you got for number 1 up here in this part, and then it's going to ask you what you got for number 1 down here in this part. Okay? It's going to tell you if you're right or wrong, so please be sure to take note. If you are right or wrong, please do them when you get to my station and we do practice problems. It's my expectation that you have done numbers 1 and 1 and then tried some of the other ones here on the front of the page. When we get to my station, we're going to be working on these back practice problems back here. So my expectation is that you should have already done the ones over here on the front by the time you get to my station. Okay? So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that helped to remind you about dividing decimals. The big important thing here is that the rules from Unit 1 about positives and negatives are still the same. We don't have to learn new rules just because they're decimals. Numbers are still the same. I hope this video helped. Please make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. And of all the students I've ever taught, you are one of them. Gotcha. Have a great day. Thanks.